Hey girl, hey. Okay, besties. We've spent 6 episodes unpacking the receipts, reality checks, and myths around the Proverbs 31 woman. But today, I want to show you what it looks like when I actually live it. Because y'all know I live for that in real life application. Not just to preach it and just talk about it, but to apply it. Because I'm not going to tell you how to be God's it girl if I'm not willing to walk that walk myself. This ain't about perfection. It's about purpose and practice. So, if anything hits home, drop it in the comments, not for performance, but for your healing. I'm not the only one balancing sermons, skincare, spreadsheets, and scheduling my entire existence around a nap. Don't leave me out here by myself. So, let's get into it. Go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, and let's get into it. You ready? Because I stay ready. Okay, first, Proverbs 31, verse 26 reads, "She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue." The first thing I had to let go of, the idea that I have to be everything to everyone all the time. Spoiler alert, I'm not Jesus. I have limits. Some days I'm highly productive, other days I need a nap. Wisdom means knowing the difference, okay? I delegate. Proverbs 31 says she watches over the affairs of her household, not she does everything by herself. I prioritize what truly matters. Sometimes that means choosing peace over proving myself. Here's what that looks like for me. I prep meals the day before content days or recording days. I'm not trying to fry no chicken, okay, or come up with a chicken category while I'm trying to serve the word, okay. I use a cleaning service twice a month for deep cleans, and I handle the daily stuff in between. I have a chaotic ass job, okay? And I'm on camera frequently for my ministry work. So my clothes, signature, stylish, but interchangeable because I do not have time for a what should I wear crisis. I delegate tasks at home and at work. I don't chase perfection. I create capacity. And let's be clear, I don't procrastinate. Because when I do procrastinate, it usually means something deeper, something like this ain't my ministry, or I'm forcing what God has never assigned to me. And that's why I schedule everything. But if I'm tired, best believe I'm taking a nap. I trust that whatever didn't get done, God gonna handle that thing. The Proverbs 31 woman wasn't perfect. She was wise. And that's my daily goal. It's can be a struggle though, okay? Because sometimes wisdom is just shutting the hell up and chill. Sometimes that takes a freaking miracle. So, what are you doing that you could either automate, delegate, or drop all together? Now, let's talk about how I'm balancing faith and ambition. Proverbs 31, verse 16 reads, "She considers a field and buys it out of her earnings. She plants a vineyard." So, as we discussed, God's It Girl was an investor, okay, an entrepreneur, a financial strategist, and a kingdom builder. Yeah. So, one thing about me, I'm going to get that bag. But you better bet I'm going to do it with wisdom. And I'm not about that get quick rich life. I'm about legacy building and purpose. So here's how I apply that today. I don't just make money, I assign my money. My position in my workplace was attained and used to position others. My income streams, they aren't just for me. I use my earnings to bless the people that God sends my way. I track my giving and reinvest in purpose driven projects, and I never apologize for my ambition or my curiosity. I treat my tithes and my receipts like spiritual documents because they are. That is why when folks try to act like money and ministry can't mix, I can kindly point them to Proverbs 31 and give them my receipts, okay? I integrate faith into my business moves. I don't chase money. I let my purpose lead. And then the right opportunities, they come to me. If God's It Girl could secure the bag righteously, then baby, so can I. What would it look like for your ambition to align with God's assignment? All right. Let's talk about submission as strength and not suppression. This is a tough one, y'all, okay? Whew. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21 reads, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ." Now, Let's talk about submission because, as I told y'all before, whew, okay, it's tough. We've been fed a lot of bad theology about submission. And the word submission itself used to rub me all the way wrong because I thought it meant silence, control, and shrinking myself into pieces or into spaces that often didn't appreciate me. At least that's how I felt then, right? But I had to reframe that. So now submission is more about alignment, not oppression. And here's what that looks like for me. I use my voice with discernment and not defensiveness. I ask God before saying yes to any opportunity, even the good ones. In romantic partnership, I submit where there's mutual respect. I bring strategy, not subservience. And real talk, right now, I'm navigating a pretty tough season at work where the leadership just doesn't make sense. Every part of me wants to rebel, but God said, hold your position. I'm working through this. Okay. So I'm learning too. At the time of this recording, this is happening right now. Submission does not mean agreeing with foolishness, though. It means trusting God and really knowing that it'll work itself out even when I don't understand the assignment. So I'm asking you, is there an area in your life where submission might actually be God preserving your peace? Lastly, I want to talk about the soft life, okay? And biblical rest, because Sabbath is a command, right? It's not a luxury. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested. That is Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. Now listen, I love what I do, but loving your work doesn't mean you're supposed to die inside doing it. So here's what soft life, but add scripture looks like for me. I schedule my mental health days like I'm catching a flight. No last minute approvals, just alignment. I outsource what I can: Instacart, food delivery, cleaning up, help, all of it. I honor the Sabbath as rest, not reward. I don't earn rest, I receive it. And I allow myself to be the passenger princess, sometimes spiritually and literally. Thank God for Uber and a boyfriend. Because if God, the creator of the freaking universe, took a day off, then baby, I'm not about to act like I'm above a nap, okay? So what would it look like for you to live in alignment and with ease instead of earning rest through exhaustion? So let's talk about your in real life application this week, right? It's not a checklist. This is not a challenge. It's just a nice, holy self reflection. What's one thing you're doing that's unsustainable? And how can you build a system or even get help? What's one stream, strategy, or step you can take that aligns your income with your impact? What mindset about being a good woman or having it all together needs to be released? I'm really interested to hear your comments, so make sure you drop your answers in the chat or the comments. And again, as I always say, not for performance, okay, but for your own self-reflection and introspection. And while you're at it, subscribe, girl. Share this with your girl gang. Text it to a friend who is tired, but they still trying. And get ready, because Proverbs 31 isn't about doing everything. It's about doing exactly what God called you to do. You're not late. Baby, you're just getting started.